you remember with the stimulus how a whole bunch of Republicans not only voted against it, but they trashed it? They said it's bad for America, it wouldn't create any jobs, it was a complete waste of money. Then they went back to their home districts and bragged about how the stimulus was so great for their district. Remember the blatant hypocrisy on the stimulus? Well, boy, it didn't take long for the same thing to happen on health reform. The ink on the bill isn't even dry yet, and Iowa Republican Senator Chuck Grassley is already a stimulus-style hypocrite on health reform. Senator Grassley not only voted against health reform every step of the way, he also denounced health reform in some of the craziest ways that health reform was denounced.
And there's some fear because in the House bill, there's counseling for end of life.
That's it.
And from that standpoint, you have every right to fear.
When you couple this with all the other fears that people have and what they do in England, then you get the idea that somebody's going to decide grandma's lived too long.
I've been told that the brain tumor that Senator Kennedy has, because he's 77 years old, would not be treated the way it's treated in the United States. In other words, he would not get the care that he gets here because of his age.
We should not have a government program that determines you're going to pull the plug on grandma.
That's some of the choicer things that Chuck Grassley has said about how bad and evil and murderous health reform is. But now Chuck Grassley has sent out a press release taking credit for provisions in the health reform bill and talking about how great they are, even though he voted against the bill. So he, to be clear, voted against the thing he's taking credit for. Senator Grassley simultaneously is vehemently opposed to and very proud of health reform. And he's apparently not embarrassed by these two sides of his face being at war with one another. Close on Chuck Grassley's heels in the race for the Ought to Be Most Embarrassed About Health Reform award today is Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming. Mr. Barrasso made this allegation about Democratic Congressman Jim Matheson of Utah this week.
In Utah, a member that Utah who voted on the bill, he was against it, then he was for it, and what a coincidence that his brother just got named to be a federal judge.
Ooh. Here's what's embarrassing about that, Senator Barrasso. You know that guy you're sliming and saying voted for health reform in some sort of dodgy, corrupt quid pro quo? Does it matter at all to you that the guy that you're sliming here didn't actually vote for health reform? Does that affect your argument in any way? Or is that immaterial? According to Senator Barrasso's spokesperson, Mr. Barrasso misspoke on this issue.